Dear students, today we will discuss very important topic of the network analysis known as the method of analysis. That means the methods by which we will go to solve the numericals in the network analysis. And my basic methods of the method of analysis are, the first one is nodal analysis, and my second method is mesh analysis. These are basic two methods by which we will pursue the solution of the circuit to calculate the various potentials and the current in the circuits. That means firstly we will go one by one. Firstly we will learn the nodal analysis, then I will come to the mesh analysis. Yes, the nodal analysis is my first point of interest. Before going to the nodal analysis, I just want to know, what do you mean by node? Basically, node is a junction in my circuit which will consist at least 3 branches at a point. If only 2 points are connected together, that means it is just a junction, not the node for me. But if 3 or more than 3 branches are meeting at a point, that means it is my node. That means the entire nodal analysis is based on the nodes. Nodal analysis is basically based on the sum of 2 laws which we have studied earlier in the basics. That means the first one is KCL, Kirchhoff current law, plus Ohm's law. These 2 laws I will use at a time, and I will write down the nodal equations. That means in the nodal analysis I will calculate the node potential in the circuit. That means I will calculate all the potential of each node, and by which I can calculate anything. That means the potential across any component or current through any component. Assume that this is the given circuitry, and here we have to calculate the potential across each and every component. And we have to solve this by the nodal analysis. That means firstly we will discuss the procedure how to proceed in the nodal analysis method. My first approach should be, if I want to apply the nodal, I should know how many nodes are here. That means the first thing is identify the nodes and assign the node voltages there. And here, firstly I have to see how many nodes are there. The first node is this, because 3 branches are meeting at a point. The second node is this. This is not a node for me, that is just a junction. That means the first node is this, second node is this, third node is this, and the fourth node is this. But see here, what is happening? Here no resistance between the 2 nodes. That means both the nodes will have the same potential because they are connected shortly. Yes or no? This is short circuit between the 2 nodes. That means both will have the same potential. That means this third and fourth are common for me. That is why I will decide that this is my common potential, and one potential I have to set at ground. Then only I can claim that this is at particular potential, any potential like as a VA with respect to ground. Otherwise I have to tell about the voltage difference. I cannot tell the exact potential at any point without ground. That means if it is VA, with respect to ground it is VA. Similarly, here I will assume that it is VB. That means total number of nodes are 1, 2 and 3. And here I have decided that two values are unknown to me and one value I have decided at ground. That means if it is VC, third node for me, and I have decided that VC is equals to 0, which is a ground for me. Now, from here, the first assumption will come into the picture that if I am writing the node equation at this particular node, because always the nodal equation I will write at the node only. Whenever I will write the nodal equation at VA, I have to assume that this particular node have the highest potential in my circuit. That means here my node have the highest potential. And if this node have the highest potential means always the current will flow from highest potential to lowest potential. That means if any direction is not mentioned here, I will assume that all the currents are outgoing. Okay. As I will get this, now I will write down the KCL equation here at node A. That means the first equation which I will write, that means at node A. The potential at node A is VA. That means the first current in this branch. That means the potential difference divided by the resistance will be the current. That means VA minus V1 divided by R1 plus second branch, that means VA minus 0 by R2 plus the third branch is this, that means VA minus VB divided by R3 is equals to 0, because no current is incoming toward the node, and this is only the KCL I have written. And with the Ohm's law, I have decided that the voltage divided by resistance is my current. That means the total outgoing currents plus total incoming currents must have to be 0, because I am using the algebraic sum here. Or you can write down like this: total incoming current is equals to total outgoing current. That means I will write down like this: the total incoming is equals to total outgoing current at any node. And here I am concentrated about only this node VA. Here three currents are outgoing and no current is coming. That is why at incoming side you have written 0 and outgoing side you have written 3 terms, because one branch is this, second branch is this, and third branch is this. Only up to here we have mentioned. That means we have written the equation only at node A. Now we will write the equation at node B. Now as I will if I will write down the equation here, I am really not bothered about what was the current direction in VA. What was the current? I have assumed. Because whenever I will write down the equation here, again I have to assume that this potential, VB, is at highest potential in the circuit. That means where the current direction is not mentioned, I will always assume that the current is outgoing. But whenever I will see the current source, that means it will mention the current automatically. That means on this case you not have to assume anything. That means this is the incoming current toward the node. Just again I will write down the same procedure whatever I have followed in VA. That means the first branch is this. That means potential difference VB minus VA divided by R3. VB minus VA divided by R3 plus second branch VB minus V2 divided by R4, and this is incoming current, that is what is equals to I. That means this is my first equation, this is my first equation, and this is my second equation. And here VA and VB are unknowns. You know the value of V1, V2, RA, R2, R3, R4. That means this is the simultaneous equation of two variables. Now you have to calculate those things by solution of the simultaneous equation, and you will get the value of VA and VB. That means you will get the potential here and you will get the potential here. Now, if you know the potential here you can calculate the current, because potential difference divided by the resistance. Potential difference divided by the resistance. Same here, the potential difference divided by the resistance. Potential difference divided by the resistance. That means if you are able to calculate the VA and VB, you can calculate the potential across any terminal, any component, or the current through any component. And this is the beauty of the nodal analysis. Okay, and this is only the theory of the nodal analysis, how to proceed. Now we will try to solve some problems on that, by which you will get the confidence to solve the questions. Now, this is the network or the circuit where I want to know what is the value of Vx. That means what is the potential here. That means across the 5 ohm. And where you have one dependent source whose value is dependent on this. And we have, firstly, we have to choose the method. That means here we will do firstly with the nodal to this equation. That means how many nodes are here we have to identify first. That means here one node is this and the second node is this. That means firstly we will define the ground here, and out of 2 we have only one node potential which is unknown to me. That means if you have total n number of nodes, n minus 1 equations are required to solve by nodals, because you will decide one potential already as a ground. That means here my potential will be V. I have assumed. Now, as I have the dependent source whose independent variable is this. That means at very first attempt I will calculate the independent variable on my system. That means if both are in series 3 and 5, that means I can apply the voltage division rule between them. That means I will get something like this. Vx is equals to 5 divided by 8 into V. Just voltage division, 5 divided by the total into V is equals to IVX. I have divided, given the voltage division rule. That means I will get the first equation from here directly. Now, this is not with the nodal. Now we will apply the nodal at this particular point. Apply the nodal equation. That means the first thing, I will assume that this is at highest potential. That means all the currents are outgoing except the current source. That means here I will not have freedom to assume the direction of the current. That means this current source will also always decide that the current is always upward. Now I will calculate. That means write down the equation V minus 60 divided by 5 plus V minus 0 divided by 8, because I will start from here and I will go up to next node. That means V minus 0 divided by 8 is equals to 0.04 Vx. And this is my entire equation. That means 0.04 is equals to 1 upon 25. That means now if I want to convert this, I can write down like this. Instead of 1 upon 5 plus 1 upon 8 minus Vx by 25, I am putting all the constant in the right side and it will become 12, because 60 by 5 is equals to 12. Now I want to calculate the value of Vx. That means I will my equation will contain only Vx. That means I will put the V as a function of Vx. That means 8 Vx by 5 is equals to 1 by 5 plus 1 by 8 minus Vx by 25 is equals to 12. Now just take the common Vx from here. Vx, that means 8 by 25 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 upon 25. You will get 12. And if you will calculate from here the values, you will get Vx is equals to 25 volts. And this is the simple calculation of the nodal equations. Now, here again we have the question of the network analysis, and we have to find out the value of this Vx in this. What is the value of Vx in this entire circuit? And again we have to apply the nodal to calculate this particular Vx. And if it is Vx for me and one dependent variable I have whose value is dependent on this Vx, as well as I have one more source whose value is dependent on this Vx, and we have to calculate this independent variable Vx. And if the value is Vx here, that means at this potential, if I have decided that this my bottom point is ground, that means here the potential will be Vx. And here both the points are shorted together, that means here also my potential is Vx. And from here, that means it is also grounded, this is also grounded, this is also grounded, because all are shorted. From here to here, the value is 0.25 Vx. That means the Vx by 4 I have the value at this particular node. Because the direct voltage source is connected from this source to this node. Sorry, this ground to this node, we have direct voltage source of Vx by 4. Now we have to identify the number of nodes. The first is my ground. The second one is this, and this is also a node, but both have the same potential. That means both are same for me. The second unknown node is this, but here I know the value of this node because the direct voltage source I have. If I will calculate the value Vx, I can calculate the value of the voltage at this particular node. That means only single equation is required to solve this, because I don't know only the potential at this particular node. If I will calculate this, I will get here also, I will get the here also. That means I will write down the equation only at this point. That means this is for me at a same potential. That means I can assume that it is my single node. And whenever I am superimposing two nodes, that is known as the superposition or superposition of the nodes. That means that is known as the super node. Now here, with this super node I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means 4 branches I have with this super node. That means I will write down all the currents of this particular node. This is entire one node for me. I will write down one by one. Here the current is outgoing, which is 0.5 Vx. That means Vx by 2. It is outgoing. Here the current direction is not mentioned in this. That means I will assume that this is at highest potential and the current is leaving from this node. That means plus Vx minus 0 by 20 plus Vx minus Vx by 4, because this voltage source has decided that the potential at this particular node is Vx by 4. That means Vx minus Vx by 4 divided by the total value of this is 10 is equals to, it is only the total outgoing current. That means total incoming current, this is 5. Now we have to solve this particular equation to calculate the value of Vx only. That means Vx is equals to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 20 plus 3 by 4 Vx, 3 by 4 divided by 10 is equals to 5. This is only my point of interest. That means again 1 by 2 plus 1 by 20 plus 3 by 40. I have this is equals to 5, and this is the value of Vx. Now if I will multiply here by 20, I will get 40 in the denominator and 20 here, and I will multiply by 2, that means it will also become 40, and here I will get 2. That means 20 23 and 22. That means here I will get 25 divided by 40. Vx is equals to 5. That means 40 by 5 I will get, and the value will be 8 volts. That means Vx is equals to 8 volts. Now again, this is also a question of the network analysis, and here we have to calculate the value of K for which the power across this is 12.5 watts. They have provided this data only, and you have to calculate for which value of K this will be satisfied. Again, we not have to worry about this. They have provided the power across this. What is the power here? And we know one thing. The power across the resistance is voltage square divided by the value of the resistance is my power. Now V0 we don't know. That means I am interested in the V0 value. The value of R is 2 is equals to power is 12.5 watts. That means V0 is equals to 25 root over. That means the value is 5 volts. That means I am getting this. The potential is 5 volts like this. That means V0 is 5 volts across this. Then what will be the current at this? The potential difference across this terminal is, across this resistance is 5, and the resistance value is 2. That means the current will be 5 divided by 2. That means 2.5 ampere in this direction. Now we just have to apply the KCL at this particular node. That means total incoming current is equals to total outgoing current. Outgoing current is only this current, which is 5. That means equal to 5. Total incoming current is this 2.5 plus kV0. That means 2.5 plus kV0. And we have calculated already the value of V0 is 5. That means the 5 V0 is equals to 2.5. Whenever you will take on that side, that means V0 will be 1 by 2. Sorry, 5 V0, kV0. That means the value of K is 1 by 2. That means the value is 0.5. Our second method of analysis is mesh analysis. Mesh analysis. That means the first thing will come into the mind. What do you mean by mesh? And what do you mean by loop? Because many people are thinking like this. The loop analysis and the mesh analysis are different things. Basically, the mesh analysis is exclusive part of the loop analysis. Loop means any closed path in a network like this. If you have any particular network like this, where this is a current source, and here R1, R2 and R3 and V and I you have. That means if you have such type of network where any closed path is existed, that means this one is my first loop, this is my second loop, and this outer one is my third loop. That means I have 3 loops in my particular circuit. That means mesh and loop are same? No, because mesh is exclusive part of the loop. That means mesh is a loop which will not consist any closed path inside this. That means it will not allow any other loop inside this. That means this loop number 1 and loop number 2 are the meshes also as well as the loop, but this third one will consist 1 and 2 inside this. That means the third one will be loop only, not the mesh. But if you are able to calculate the first current and the second current, you can tell about the potential across any component or the current through any component. That means this outer one will be redundant for me. That means no use to write down the equation for the outer mesh. Because with the 1 and 2 only I can calculate all the voltages and the current in the entire circuit. That is why most of the people are interested only in the mesh analysis, not in the loop analysis. Because here, if you will write down the equation for the loop, you will get 3 equations of 3 variables. And whenever you will write down the mesh equations, only 2 variables you will get. That is 2 variables of 2 equations. Now it seems like only 1 equation you have introduced here. But sir, the thing will become more complex whenever you will get little bit complex circuit. I am giving the example also how your situation can be more worst. Let me assume that your circuit is something like this. Assume that the circuit is something like this. Now, how many meshes are here? Only you will get the 4 meshes. This is the first, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. That means only 5 loops you have which will not consist any loop inside this. That means you have first 4 meshes. That means it is 1, 2, 3 and 4. But how many loops you have? This one is another loop which will consist all the 4 meshes inside this. That means it cannot be, the blue one cannot be a mesh, only it is a loop. Now this one, now this one, again come to this, again come to this. That means how many you have covered? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Up to 9 we have completed. Now, start from here. I will go like this. And whenever you will go like this, that means from here to here, 1 replica you will get opposite to this. And then again some more combination you will get. Okay. That means roughly if you are getting the 13 equation for the loop and the 4 equations only you are getting for the mesh. And in these 13 equations, that means in these 13 loop equations, you have included these 4 equations already. That means here 9 equations are redundant. Now you can decide which method you want to follow. Whether you want to solve the equation of 4 variable or you want to solve the equation of 13 variable. That is why most of the people are interested only in the mesh analysis. Basically, this mesh analysis is a combination of 2 laws together. The first law is KVL and the second law is Ohm's law. And that means the KVL is summation of all the voltage drop. That means this summation will be algebraic. Total hike and total reduction of the voltage in any particular closed path where J is equals to 1 to M must have to be 0. That means algebraic sum of all the voltages inside loop. That means in any closed path. This is my KVL. That means the total potential drop in any closed path must have to be 0. That means if there is a hike of 5 volt, there should be reduction of the 5 volt also in the circuit because the total voltage drop must have to be 0. That means from here you will get the voltage equation. But from the Ohm's law you can write down like this. If you don't know the voltage directly, you know the current and you know the resistance. That means you can write this. That is a necessity of the Ohm's law in the mesh analysis. Now we will learn here how to write down the mesh equations. Now this is a network where I will write down the mesh equations, and after the solution of the equations you will get the value of the mesh currents. But the first thing is identify the number of meshes. How many meshes are here? Here this is one mesh because inside this any loop is not here. The second mesh is this and the third mesh is this. But if you will take this, that will be a loop but not the mesh, because two meshes, two loops will be inside this. If you will take this. Similarly, it cannot be your mesh. It can be only a loop. That means I have introduced like this. That means this is my first mesh. You can choose any direction, but here I am taking only the clockwise directions. You can choose any one. That means if you will choose the wrong direction, you will get the negative answer at the last. That means whatever direction you have assumed, that is incorrect. Now, I have decided the direction clockwise universally here. You can choose any direction. Okay, that means three meshes are here, and I have decided that the current I1 in this, I2 in this, and I3 in this. The mesh currents. Now I will assign the passive sign convention. What is passive sign convention for me? That means if you have a resistor and the current is entering like this, I will assign the potential like this. That means the entering terminal must have to add greater potential with respect to leaving terminal. That means if the current will enter like this, I will put like this. But in this resistor R2, the two currents are flowing. I1 in downward direction and I2 in the upward direction. That means the current direction and the voltage polarity will be like this. Similarly here and similarly here. And whenever the current will, I2 will go in downward direction, you will get like this. And I3 will go in the upward direction, you will get like this. That means I have mentioned all the passive sign convention in all the passive components. You will never decide the polarity of the voltage, because automatically you will get all the polarity of the voltage directly. Because the voltage source will always come with the polarity of the voltage. You do not have to write. Now, after assigning this, I will write down the mesh equations. What is mesh equation? KVL plus Ohm's law. And I will make this mesh complete. That means I will write down the entire voltages in this particular mesh. How many voltages I am seeing. I will start from here. Which sign I will see first? Minus. That means minus V1. Plus. The second sign is plus. That is why I have written plus here. Now, voltage across this. I don't know direct the voltage here. That means I will follow the Ohm's law here. V is equals to IR. The current is I1 in this only, and the value is I1. That means I1 into R1. Now, again, here I am seeing two signs. Firstly, I will write down for this. Secondly, I will write down for this. That means plus I1 R2 minus sign. This minus sign is just because of this I2. That means what sign I am seeing from this side, because my loop direction is this. That means again I will follow this direction only. Here I am seeing plus, then here plus and minus also. That is minus I2 R2. And again I will come to this point. That means equals to 0. That means I have started from here. I will go in this component. Here two currents are here. Opposite in nature, that is plus and minus. That is why plus and minus I have written. And again I will come to this position. That means this is for mesh 1. That means equation number 1. Now I will go for this. That means mesh number 2. I will start from here. I am seeing the plus sign. That means I will write down I2 into R2. But here I am seeing the minus sign also, which is responsible just because of I1. That means minus I1 R2. Now in this one only I2 is flowing. That is plus I2 R3. Now in this one again this plus minus is responsible due to I2 plus I2 R4. And this minus sign you are getting just because of this I3. That means minus I3 R4 is equals to 0, and it is my equation number 2. That means this is basically the mesh equation number 2. That means in this particular mesh. Now I will write down the third equation for this particular mesh. I will start from here. That means, firstly I am seeing the two sign changes here. Firstly I will write down for this, then I will write down for this. That means my I3 R4 minus I2 R4. Two currents are here. That is why I have written two potentials. Then here only one current. That means plus R5 I3 plus V2 is equals to 0. This is my third equation. That means I have written three mesh equations for three individual meshes. I know the V1 value here, I know the V2 value here, I know all the resistances values. Only I don't know the value of I1, I2 and I3. That means from here you will get the value of the currents of three meshes. But how to decide the method? Where should I apply the mesh analysis? Where should I apply the nodal analysis? That means here how many equations are required? 3. Now justify here how many nodal equations are required. That means firstly I will judge how many nodes are here. First node, second node, and this is my third node. That means I will assign the ground here. Only this node potential V1 and this I am saying VA, and this node potential is VB. That means only two equations required. That is why most of the time people used to apply the KCL, because in the KCL number of equation will be less. That means you have to solve less variable equations, which is easy to solve. Okay, but we will learn here how to solve with the mesh also. That is why we will take some examples. Now here, this is a question of the network analysis, and I want to know what is the potential across this 100 ohm by mesh analysis only. I will try to apply the mesh analysis here. Okay, that means if I want to define the voltage here, I should know what is the current across this. Then only V is equals to IR I can apply. Here I will not take small I because the small I is already there. That means V is equals to IR. I know the value of R only, but I don't know what is the value of I. That means with the mesh analysis, I will calculate the current here. Now see, the current point 2 is coming toward the node. That means if the I current is here, what should be the current here? 0.2 minus this small I. And according to this current direction, I will assign the passive sign convention first. That means here the current is only I, like this. And here the current direction is this. That means the potential developed will be plus and minus, plus and minus. Here voltage source, we cannot define the direction. Here already the direction is defined. Now I will write down the mesh equation here. And what is this current? 0.2 minus I. That means this I is 0.2 minus small I into the R value is 100. This is my output V naught. If I will write down the plus minus, V naught is the potential here. That means if I am able to calculate this I can calculate the potential here. That means my total motive is to calculate the potential. We start from here. That means minus sign I am getting. That means minus 40I plus 40 into the current is 0.2 minus I plus 100 into 0.2 minus I minus 20I is equals to 0. That means I have started just from here. 40 into this current, 100 into this current, because no current will flow here because it is open circuited, the entire current will follow like this. And here also 20I minus 20I I have written. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 components are here and I have written the 4 voltages here. I will calculate just the value of I from here. That means minus 40I plus 40 into 0.2 minus 40i plus 100 into 0.2 minus 100i minus 20i is equals to 0. That means we just have to solve this equation for I and we will get the value of I. And from here we will get the value of I is 0.14 ampere. We will get from here. The value of I is 0.14. Now, as you will get the value of I is equals to 0.14, that means 0.14, you will get the value of I. As you will put here, you will get the value is 0.2 minus 0.14 into 100. 0.06 into 100, that means you will get the 6 volt. The V0 value is 6 volt. That means I have written only one mesh equation. I got the answer from here.